Hello, today we shall start a new chapter, meristem. Actually, the meristem term originated from the Greek word meristos. The meaning of meristos is that divides. So, the meristematic tissue are those tissue which has the capacity of division. So, for the function of division, they have more protoplasm inside their cell. Their wall is thin and elastic, and they are vacuolated. The cell wall is made up of cellulose, and in some cases, plastid is also found in protoplastid condition. So, these are the the quality of the meristematic tissue. The meristematic tissue are divided according to their nature of origin, their position, and their development, and the type, and according to their development. So, according to the position, according to the uh, nature of their development and nature of their position, they are all divided into different forms. First is according to the position. According to the position, the meristems are divided into three forms. First is the apical meristem. Second is the intercalary meristem, and the third is the lateral meristem. Apical meristems are those meristems which are situated at the tip of the stem and shoot and root, and by the division of this meristem, by the activity of this meristem, the plant grow in length, and so this type of meristem are situated at the apical at the tip of the stem apex or the leaf apex and on the root apex. So these are termed as the apical meristem. The next form is the intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem, according to Ames, the intercalary meristem is not a separate meristem, but it is a type of apical meristem which are formed which are detached due to formation of the permanent tissue at the time of the elongation of stems shoot, and hence they are detached, and they are formed sideline. They are at the position there the position is changed. So according to Ames, these are not a separate kind of meristem, but they are the part of apical meristem that is left over by the formation of the permanent tissue at the time of the elongation of the shoot. That is, his conception was based on the leaf sheaths, formation of leaf sheaths. The next and the other anatomist, that is Wardlaw claimed that these are the apical meristem which are separated, which are detached from them, and hence they are sidelined, and then they are left over, and hence they are called as their new term is the intercalary meristem. His conception was based on the rudimentary birds found, and his study was on the basis of the fern, foreign plants. The third type of meristem are the lateral meristem. Lateral meristems are those meristems which are formed later on. As for example, when in dicot stems, and it is found that according to the increase in length, in ratio of increasing length, plant should have to increase its diameter, as the dicotyledonous plants are of much length, and hence for establishing the ratio between them so that the plant did not fall, there is a capacity in them to perform secondary growth. So in the secondary growth, the area in the breath gets increased. So in the at the time of the secondary growth, as the secondary growth persists, the new cell is cut inside as the secondary xylem and secondary phloem. So there is a pressure outside the cortex, and hence some cells become meristematic and they are known as phelloderm or the cork cambium, which cuts cells outward and inward and as the periderm and henceforth. So this type of cell newly formed, this that is the cork cambium, it is known as the lateral meristem. So these are the different types of meristem. So on the basis of the different on the basis of these are the meristem on the basis of the position. The next are on the basis of the origin. On the basis of origin, there are primary meristem that is found in the earliest stage in the plant, and due to their activity the plant elongates in shoot or the root, and hence they are the primary meristem. I have said that the cork cambium is a type of lateral meristem. So cork cambium also formed inside also called as the secondary meristem, because it is not of the primary origin but later on formed. So on the basis of the nature of origin, the meristems are of two types. First is the primary meristem and second is the secondary meristem. Now on the method of development, there are various kinds of meristems. First is the promeristem. Promeristems are the cells, a group of cells that forms meristem. The promeristems have the capacity of division. These cells are actually found at the tip. At the tip, there the meristem that meristem which are found at the tip of the shoot, they are of the promeristematic nature. They have elastic cell wall having cellulose, and they have vacuolate. They have some vacuoles inside it. They have enriched protoplast, and they have very much capacity of division. So at the tip of the dividing, at the tip of the shoot, it is found the meristem that is found is of promeristem. Later on, when we come back from the from the tip of the shoot backward, and then we found that at the descending position of the tip, there are some meristematic cells which are not in the pro-meristematic condition. They are meristematic, but they are not actually pro-meristematic, but something they become mature. So according to the method of development, the first is the pro-meristem, and the second are the mass, plate and rib meristem. Mass, plate and rib meristem. The mass meristem have the capacity of division in 3 dimensions, and hence they cut the cells in mass. So these are found actually inside, they form the tissue of the cortex and pith region, and hence they, according to their division, the mass increases. Mass of the cells of the stem, a plant body increases. The second is the plate meristem, which cuts the cells in 2 dimensions, and hence they actually divide so for making the cover of the plant body, that is the epidermal layers. So due to the division of the plate meristem, the epidermis is made, and rib meristem is actually the meristem that divides anticlinally. Due to anticlinally division, the cells elongates like a pillar-like fashion, and they are found in some plants, some angiospermic plants. They also form pith and cortex of the some angiospermic plant. That is, the anticlinal means perpendicular to parallel to the diameter of the plant body, the diameter of the cell. That is the anticlinal division, and hence according to the division, this type of division, the cells increase in the length. So these are the different types of meristems found inside the plant body, and according to there are many theories that is assigned for the conception of the apical apical meristems. That for the conception of the apical meristem, how the apical meristem is organized and how it divides and how it functions, there are many theories put forth, and the first is the apical meristematic theory, apical meristem theory. According to this theory, the entire in the length, the increase of the shoot takes place by the single apical cell. This is found inside the algae. This is found inside the some bryophytes, but in the tracheophytes, as for example pteridophytes and gymnosperms and angiosperms, it is found that there is not a single apical cell but a group of apical cells that divides and redivides. As their two activity, the plant grows in length. So this is of actually historical value, classical value. So the apical cell theory has only the classical value, The second theory, which is which was given was by the Einstein and the Strasburger. In 1867, they put forth a second theory known as the histogen theory. According to this theory, the name assigned histogen due to the fact that the histogens means the tissue building. Tissue building, histogen means tissue building. So the histogen theory is applied. According to this theory, the apex of the shoot apex or the root apex actually is differentiated into 3 zones, and each zones have the group of initial. Due to their activity, the shoot apex and the root apex is formed, and due to these activities of the cells of the root apex and the shoot apex, the plant increase in length. So the histogen theory says that there are 3 zones. The first zone is the dermata zone. According to, due to this group of initial which is assigned for the formation of dermata zone, the epidermis is formed, and the cells of the next zone, the group of initials that forms next zone, is known as the peribellum. According to their activity, the cortex is formed, cortical regions are formed, and the third zone is the pleroma. Due to their activity in the anticlinal, their division in anticlinal, the inside zone, the central cylinder develops. As for example, the vascular cylinders, the pith, they developed. But the demerit of the theory is that it has only the topographical evidence. There is no morphological evidence that denotes that there is a demarcation between all 3 zones. So histogen theory is also of the classical value. And the next theory that came was the tunica corpus theory. According to this theory, at the tip of the root shoot apex, there is a zone known as the tunica, and it is of one layer or of many layer, and they are according to its division, the outer covering of the shoot is formed. Outer covering of the shoot apex is formed, and the next is the corpus region. Their division is of irregular fashion, and their division is in all planes. So their division, due to their divisions, the mass of the cylinder is formed. So the tunica corpus theory is the most relevant theory given by the Smiths in 1916. It is given by 1924. It was given by Smith in 1924, and it is the most relevant theory. It deals how the shoot apex is organized, but it is of the only topographical value. Likewise, the histone theory, here also there is no different zones found, that is morphological different. Such type of demarcation is not found, although in some angiospermic plants such type of demarcation is seen, but this is the most relevant theory, and it is the most modern theory given, and to understand the organization of shoot apex. That is all about. Thank you.